So, welcome, Cami. You're on with Paul and Matt.
Thank you. I
How can
don't
we
know
help?
where to start. Have you ever heard of Michael Rood?
I don't think I
I have
have.
not.
Oh, I think if we were going to. Okay, I'm sorry. Hang on. He's. Michael Rood is ordained minister who is now a Messianic rabbi, and he has many, what do you call them, pastors and ministers that he has like underlings. But he does. He has a show called Shabbat Night Live. It
Nice.
might be a good idea to check this guy out. I would love to see what you guys could do with it. I'm too shy for me to be calling you. I'm like, I'm nervous, but
Well, what
you
makes
need
you
to
think we
check
should
him.
spend time checking him out?
Well, they do tours of Israel, and they're endorsing Israel's conflict with, well, not just the conflict, but they're telling the Christians in this country, the ones that are pulling out of the church, and if they get them before they really decipher their Bibles and realize that there is no God, what they're doing is they're pulling these people in to the Torah. And they're actually believing that these are the end days and that Israel's going to conquer Gaza and, well, the whole Middle East. And well, we all know what happens in the Bible says that the entire world is going to be given to the Israelites. But this is this isn't good.
So
Hang on.
I assume you disagree. I just don't want to
I
make an
disagree
assumption.
with
You
Michael Rood. Yes,
you disagree with Michael
me
Rood.
and my
Okay.
two sons. What was that? I'm sorry. What was
I
that?
don't think we didn't say anything. Carry on.
Okay. See, I don't agree that they should be going and putting people in danger, going to tour Israel, and they're even going into the Gaza Strip where there's this big red sign that says that you go in at your own risk, and they're going in touring places like Bethlehem and Jericho, and
So, if
I
there's a
just
sign that says you're going in at your own risk, then people know that they're going in
yeah,
at their own risk. So,
right.
what's the objection?
But they also have this area where they're encouraging people to buy houses in the forbidden spaces, and this is why they're getting bombed because these people. Okay, this is going to be like a political thing. The Palestinians are fighting for their own homes, for their families, and I believe that this is where this gets to be dangerous because yeah, it does. Michael Rood
So,
kind of encourages people to read their Bibles and to accept the fact that that land is going to be given to Israel, and they're encouraging the Christians to move to the Middle East. We heard it
okay,
from him, me and my sons. We pulled out of the church, and we were misled by Michael Rood for a time before we realized that this is all nonsense. But we
so
know how dangerous this can be because we know what they're teaching. But I'd like you guys to see it too. And I'm surprised nobody's called attention to Michael Rood before.
I'm not. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page. He has virtually no followers on Twitter. And while he has 250,000 subscribers to YouTube, I'm pretty much convinced looking at
Yeah,
his YouTube channel that those were purchased. Because if you look at his videos over the last month or so,
yeah,
one of them's got 13,000, but most of them have around 1,000 views to a couple thousand views. I mean, we're going to have that many people watching
yeah,
live. I think you might be overestimating his reach
yeah.
with what's going on, and how big of a concern something is, because at the end of the day, he's doing stuff, but if he's exercising free speech and dealing with adults, I'm not sure what, apart from saying we disagree, why on earth would I
Yeah.
pay attention to somebody who's not got much reach?
Maybe I thought that he had more reach than he does, but he does have a lot of pastors and preachers that, oh, how do I put it? They sell merchandise, and then they have these followers that actually play their videos like in their own gatherings. Did you, when you looked up Shabbat Night Live, did you see, what they're all about?
So
No,
one of the
I haven't had a chance to
I'm
watch
going to
anything. I've been on
derail
the
just a
phone with
little
people.
bit. So one of the things that I've on my channel, I built it on the back of young Earth creationists because I was a young Earth
Right.
creationist. And so obviously, pardon me, young Earth
He preaches that
creationism,
too.
yeah, and that's fine. But young Earth creationism is definitely a subset, right, of the general
Yeah.
Christianity. And so a lot of people looked at my channel when it started. It's like, you're weirdly focused on this one thing, and it made sense because I came out of that movement. It would be
Yeah.
a little bit tricky for me to like pick every sub movement of Christianity and go after that specifically. The way I have
Yeah.
evolved my channel and my work is to go more general
Yeah.
as opposed to more specific, because a lot of the epistemological problems or the logical fallacies, or even the fact that, like, does the Christian God exist, by which I'm leveraging your sympathies, that
Right.
going more general has helped to cover cases like this rather than to
Yeah.
focus on or platform someone specific. So I'd be very hypocritical if I said I don't sometimes hyper focus on someone who's affected me personally. But that doesn't
Yeah,
mean
that's true.
that like someone like Matarai should be going hunting for every person who has a quirk about Christianity. And I guess I'm kind of asking if you agree or disagree. Is it not better to talk about the general thought problems that apply to all cults
Yeah.
or denominations, or however the different, I'm not saying those are synonymous, by the way, but
Right.
going general is one way to do it. Of course, another way is to have call shows like this where you're actually talking to an
Right.
individual, where it's one-on-one. So if someone called us from Michael Rood's church, I think Matt and I would be able to have a very engaging conversation with that person about why they believe
I
what
would
they
love
believe.
to see that. I would pay to see that.
Right. But it's a little
That's
bit,
what I
but
really like to see.
well, then I think,
Because
if that's
you
what
would
you
tear
want,
him down.
then maybe you should encourage, if these are people in your life who are being affected by Michael
Oh, they're
Rood.
not anymore.
Oh, okay, well,
I
that's
am a
good.
very strong atheist now, but back then I was looking
Well, I'm a
for
strong
God,
atheist,
and
and
I
I
fell
have
into
people in
that
my
trap.
life who are, as an atheist, I still have people in my life who are affected by different, religious thoughts and processes. And anyway, I think generally, while it is interesting to come across these people, and I Ken Ham is my particular MacGuffin, and I get,
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of vindicated because the Speaker of the House is connected to him, so I kind of have that vindication these days. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that focusing. I think we kind of can lose our effectiveness when you focus in on one particular hyperbolic example
Right.
versus the general example. So that's just my thought on
Yeah.
these kind of people in
Yeah.
general.
And
Well,
I
the
I don't know
thing
if
just
that
Matt
think,
gets
agrees or
me with
disagrees.
Michael Rood, even with Israel, there are a lot more people in this country that are pining for Israel to take over because they want to move there. We met into quite a few of them, and they'll say that you're anti-Semitic because you're not doing it their way. And this is what Michael Rood is all about. And that anti-Semitic comment is another big reason why a lot of these people are leaning towards them. And I don't know, the deeper things get, like when a family gets blown up over there, they're playing into that Christian thing, that they're blowing up Americans, and then they use that to gain more followers. And that's where I think that gets to be dangerous. But I would love it if we could, maybe I could, I went head to head with Michael Rood a couple of times on my own. Maybe I can try to do that again, and we'll see what happens.
well, I
But
may be really bad at kind of searching, but
yeah.
just perusing his YouTube channel,
Oh, no, I don't do
I,
that. I've never
I,
called into
I
his channel. When
I'm
I met
can
him,
I
I met
finish?
him in person
Can I
without his
finish?
entourage.
Can I finish?
Sure. Sorry.
So I may be bad at this, but just perusing his YouTube channel, I find exactly one episode of Shabbat Night Live from 6 years ago that has 6.8 thousand views, and no other episodes of Shabbat Night Live. So is this guy even
Wow.
still
Because
producing stuff? Is it relevant? Is it,
he just had an episode last night, or Friday night.
yeah, I don't
Past
see it
I'm
on
Friday
actually
his
night.
seeing.
channel.
I'm seeing the same. I'm seeing an episode from last night.
Okay. It's not
Yeah,
showing up when I go to
Friday
his
night.
YouTube channel. When I go to his YouTube channel, I'm not seeing it show up under the live list or under the videos list. But
Well, you won't until Friday night. He's pretty.
well, what I'm saying
Okay.
is Paul evidently, you say he had one this past weekend, and Paul's saying he sees it,
Yeah.
and I'm saying I don't. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on as to how I can be at somebody's YouTube
I
channel
don't know.
and I'm
'Cause
not asking you. I'm asking Paul.
Oh, is it the?
Oh.
Sorry, and I'm muted for my dog here. It's a rude awakening?
Yeah.
Is that the channel you're seeing? And
Yep.
then, so on that channel, I'm seeing The Letter and the Spirit, Shabbat Night Live, 1 day ago, 5.3 views. The Letter and the
Okay.
Spirit.
It doesn't, yes, it doesn't say Shabbat Night Live on the thing. When you go to live, which is where I would see the live thing, there's only one of those there. Okay.
Looks
So
like he's
yeah,
maybe
there's one
updating.
from
My son
last
just
week.
showed me.
6 years ago, he's had a video up for 6 years that has 6,000 views, and he has one up that's been up for a day for 5.3 thousand views. But none of that matters. I mean, I don't judge who I'm going to interact with based on their views.
Yeah.
It's just when somebody calls in and they're like, "Have you heard of this
What he
guy?
says.
He's doing this, and we really need to pay attention." There are a bunch of absolutely terrible, vile, potentially dangerous apologists who nobody would know about if it weren't for the fact that atheists watch and share their shit all the time. Like they don't have an audience, they don't have an impact, they don't have, not is he probably ripping some people off? Perhaps that's not my area to look into. Is he leading people into potential danger? Perhaps that's not my area either. So apart from getting them to call in, I don't know what we should do.
Okay, my son just showed me that. What? Yeah. Okay. His two main sites is Rude Awakening International and A Rude Awakening. So I'm not trying to take over your show here. I just wanted you to. It might be a good idea to check out what's
I don't
what
know
he's
what
saying.
it is you think we do.
Only because as these things happen in Israel and come up in the news, we might find that people coming from the church and getting mixed up in his nonsense, that there could be a lot more of his followers. And I mean, he's pushing the Torah. And we all know what the Torah says. And that's why I said that this could be dangerous.
I don't know what it is I don't know what it is you
say.
think we do or what it is you would expect me to do.
Oh, no, I mean, just for interest. It's not that I'm trying to cause trouble or try to bring him down or whatever the case may be.
I got enough interest.
It's just a thing of interest. So it's been quite a few years since I even looked at anything he's done because we pulled away from him. That would have been like 2010. So it's like we haven't even kept up with this guy's stuff.
Neither has anybody else.
It seems like he's growing. That's why I said it might be something you might want to.
Why does it seem like he's growing?
In on once in a while.
Audio problem? Is there an audio problem where you just can't hear me when I'm talking?
I can't hear you sometimes.
Okay. What? I don't know why you think he's growing. I don't see evidence of that.
Okay. I guess it's because when we first started following him, he was new, very new.
Okay.
So in looking at his latest, we only watched the one on what's the war in Gaza. We only looked him up 2 weeks ago. But we do watch your show all the time because I love how, I don't know how you had patience.
So after...
I hear some of those
wow, what the fuck is going on with the audio? So after 13 years of not paying any attention to him, you looked him up 2 years ago and you decided that he's growing.
Oh, no, 2 weeks ago. Just to see what he had to say about what's going on in Gaza. Because, with all the bombings and things with Israel, I wanted to see if he was involved in this. That's why I looked him up. It wasn't because I was interested in what he's doing.
I didn't say anything at all about why you looked him up. It's okay. We're going to move on. Tammy, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't want to belabor that call, but when someone says we all know what the Torah says, famously, people widely disagree about what the Torah says on a great many topics. So